Hey everyone, welcome back to Desert Vibes podcast, where we dive deep into topics.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Desert Vibes podcast, where we dive deep into topics that inspire, uplift, and helps us live our best lives. I'm your host, Dennis Kamau, or you can call me the Mountain Scorpion. Yeah, and today we're gonna dive into a topic that is simple, that we apply in our daily lives, and it's about creativity. Welcome, guys.
Hello, people. My name is Rishi, or rather Ritchel. Yeah, and welcome to Desert Vibes.
Hello everyone, my name is Naomi, the money lover. Welcome.
Hello guys, my name is Boni. As you know me, I'm glad to be here again.
Hello guys, my name is Shama and I'm happy to be in the panel talking about creativity. Enjoy.
You can call me the Scorpion. Welcome. My first question will be, how do you understand creativity? What does creativity mean to you?
Imagination.
Wow.
Some take creativity as a form of art.
Because creativity actually is the ability to create something out of imagination, like they say.
Yeah, well, first, creativity comes from within and it builds up the imagination. So, my basic definition of creativity is the build-up of imagination.
What of you?
Creativity, just imagination, because it is always prompted. It's something that it is out of nowhere that it comes in your mind, and that is what is creativity. Creativity is very natural. It is not something that you cook up or do something. It's something that comes in your mind in your random time to time, day-to-day life. Yeah.
Okay, so we can say it's something like expression and problem solving, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Because someone was telling me that lazy people are always creative, and I was like,
Yeah, very
It's
creative.
true
Yeah,
because
very creative.
they're always looking for the easiest way to do something.
okay,
And that's why it's said for most of the companies or big companies, they always say, if you want your company to grow in a much faster way, hire the laziest people,
okay,
Yeah, they will always look for the easiest way to do what the hardest does.
Well, you see, I can agree to a certain point, not fully. Because when you hire the lazy people, then who is going to do the work eventually? So what I can say is, the lazy people will give you the ideas, but then the hardworking people will do the ideas. So it is a mix and match. Can
yeah,
I say so?
but to add on that, the lazy people make the work easier
Easy.
out of their innovation. So the work people are like the donkeys, and the lazy people are like the engineers behind the idea. So they correlate the work with each other.
Exactly.
That's
my
why
point.
they say, work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
okay. Are you creative?
Yeah, on a certain level, I am creative.
So you are
At a
lazy.
certain level.
At a certain level, I'm lazy as well.
Wow. So yeah. And the next question will be: do you believe everyone is naturally creative?
Of course, everyone is creative naturally.
Yeah, but in their own ways, obviously, not generally, because no one can be creative generally.
Yeah.
No, I think people are creative even when unaware of situations that you are creative. People are creative. You might be doing something that is creative, but unconsciously you don't know that thing is creative. So I think, according to my view, everyone is creative. It's just that it prompts someone on different levels of thinking. So you might not know you are creative until someone tells you that you are creative.
Actually, that is true because to add on that, there is some, and that's why it's always important is always said, when you have a thought, try to write it somewhere and try to do it, because that thought becomes something much bigger, something that has never been seen by anybody. For example, before people were walking, right? Someone thought of how to go on a longer distance, but without walking, because if you walk, you are getting tired. They came up with the idea of these cottages with the wheels, where you'll tie a horse and then you'll go for a longer distance. And then another person saw, okay, the horses are dying, so what can we do? Already we have the idea of the wheels, but how can we make the wheels move without the horses? And they came up with engine. So if someone was, had that fear of trying out on that thought that came in their mind, as she said, some people, they are creative, but they don't know they are creative at the moment. But if you are afraid to activate that idea, to put it into a test, it will never become something. And that's how you'll hear some people saying the richest place in this earth is the grave, because there were some people who had great ideas, which they just thought it's just a thought, and they brush it off, and they died with it. Yeah.
So to add on that, some people tend to be creative when there is a situation that challenges them. For example, he spoke about the invention of a car. So imagine without the invention of a car, for example, you are from work and like you're out of work from 3 a.m. and then like mind you right now, if you didn't have cars, you're out from shift and then like you are going on a donkey on a horse to work. So like that guy had a challenge about choosing the animal or the horses. So the situation pushed him to invent the idea that started with a bicycle, then went to a motorcycle, and then went to a car. So like for me personally, most of the time, situation usually tends to push me to be creative. And like you say, lazy people are creative. For me, I don't like to tire myself out.
So you're lazy?
Yeah, I'm lazy.
I bet. I think creativity is one of the hardest things that a human being would ever imagine. Being creative is the hardest thing. Just come to it when you're at work and your manager tells you, think about something. Oh my God, that is the worst part.
Yeah.
That you don't want to think about it. So as far as everyone is creative,
Yeah.
The nature of creativity itself makes it hard for people to think, because you have to think for you to be creative. Thinking is really hard.
I think that you can call it creativity block.
Yeah.
You know, like a writer's block is where like you're in a situation, you did not expect a certain question to be, or a certain task to be put onto you.
Yeah.
So out of that fear, it will like create that shock in your mind that will block all the ideas that you have. You are creative. You have the ideas. The ideas are the creativity of you, of yourself. So that's the, you're creative, but it's just the fear that will cause the block.
Well, you have mixed up the situation. For me, when you mentioned writer's block, I greatly refer to that. For instance, you're told to write something. You see, you have the idea, but implementing the idea is the problem. You get
executing
so
the idea.
that cannot be the writer's block comes in, or maybe the creative block. It comes in when you have not hit the idea that you're supposed to write. So what she's basically saying, there was this thing that my physics teacher, my maths teacher used to tell us a lot, that this person who is solving a math problem or writing a composition is doing a heavy work than a person who's trying to push a wall. You get? Because this person who is pushing a wall, that wall will not move. But this person is using his brains, and he's using that adrenaline energy to write that letter or maybe that mathematical equation. You get? So there's a difference between, because when a manager, she has the idea of how this manager's told you do this. She knows she's supposed to do this, but she wants to do it in a certain way. That is what is blocking her. You get?
I know.
But now, when we talk about that creative block, it means that the manager has told her do this, but she does not know how to begin it. That is where the writer's block comes.
I think
Creative.
Okay, creativity is for everyone, but sometimes we tend to, personally, I find it very hard. For example, let's take, everyone goes to work. Daily basis, we go to work. Now you're at work, it's time to go home. And the problem has just come in. And you already know the solution to this. You've already
Done it several
yes, this thought inside you that this thing is going to happen. And the manager says you have to solve this problem before going home. Honestly speaking, I will not solve that problem. That is the end of my imagination, and that is how I will not think again. Because if I think, my time to go home is like.
And when you talk of cars, in those days, there are some people who are using brooms. They were flying, you know.
Yeah, they were kicking it down.
So you guys are saying that creativity is not just art, or maybe painting or drawing. It's more than that. Yeah, it starts in the mind. Because when we come to technology, another question is, how do you personally tap into creativity?
So let me answer that. So different people have their own ways to tap into their creativity.
Yep.
For some it's music, for others it is exercise. To some also the situation, if you are prompted, like it's an emergency, that is where like your mind is supposed to adapt quickly. So for me personally, I tend to create a good atmospheric like environment, listen to a calm music. That is when like I will tap into like my inner creativity. That's according to me.
Yeah. Even as me, I can say on the same thing as he said. But for me, I can put it simply as meditation. There is different ways of meditating. There is some, they just sit, enjoy the nature, enjoy the breeze, and they meditate. There is some, they will listen to a calm music, and that's their form of meditation. And there is some who will just read a book, something to distract their mind, to lower their blood pressure and everything, all the stress. And that way of distracting your mind, bringing it to a calmness, I think any way that you have, any idea that you have or use is a kind of meditation. And that's how, when you achieve that calmness of your mind, that's when the creativity kicks in.
Yeah, well said.
I think creativity comes in various forms. For example, any situation that comes is a platform for me to be creative. Whatever I encounter every day is a chance for me to be creative. But my most creative time, I can say, is when sleeping. You know, when sleeping, you're in your own world. Before just to come to sleep and just calm down, you can write a novel when you're in sleep. No one is bothering you. Everyone knows you're asleep. Nothing is bothering you. So that is the time that your mind is very productive when it comes to creativity, when it comes to idea. That is when you're super excellent to do a creative thing.
I love the concept that you guys are talking about, because when it comes to me, this matter of creativity, how I tap into it, it's when I'm doing an activity. Let's say like the last episode that we had, it was about hobbies. So when I'm doing an activity, there is an idea that usually comes in my mind on how to do something else. Let's say I'm playing cricket, something comes in my mind, but it's not about cricket, it's about something else. Yeah, and I was having a chat with a certain guy, and he told me, when I'm walking, I usually get a lot of ideas, and I think of executing the ideas. So for him, it's different from mine. Same thing that he said, that everyone has his own way that he taps into his or her creativity. Yeah, what she said while sleeping, but Do you dream and then how do you write the ideas?
Even me, I'm curious.
Well, she's from Kisii. Yeah.
To be honest, she's very right. She's very, very right. Because back then when I was in high school, we used to have these magazines, newspapers that used to come to school.
Yeah.
So there's one particular one that that said that if you want to grasp something that you have read, you read it when you're about to sleep. I don't know if you guys ever knew that.
Subconscious mind. Yeah.
So that thing stuck into my mind. So whenever I try to do something and I feel like, hey, I'm not hitting the right spot, I just, for example, I'll use my field. Sorry for using my field a lot of times. I'm really sorry. But when I'm writing, then I feel like I have hit the blockade. I just watch a movie and then I go to sleep. Or rather, I listen to a movie, like maybe a radio movie or something. Then I just sleep.
For me, I listen to podcasts.
Yeah, you see. So that's sleeping. And then I love using scenarios that I've dreamt of. You see, so that is how I feel like she's interlocked with my mind. Like the sleeping part really gives you a way to, it's a way to tap into that creativity.
And do you oversleep?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Wow.
I want to say this. I think, as you've said, creativity is something. This is a fresh thing. It's something that you're not getting from any other source.
Yeah.
That is creativity to me. You're not getting this thing from another source. Personally, I love money. And every time I go to bed, idea comes in my mind how to make that money, this is nobody's idea. And those imaginations comes when I'm about to sleep. When people say you're lacking sleep, I'm not lacking sleep. I'm just
because of money or
not even because of money. I'm just, of course I need money. So I have to think on how I'm going to get that money. If I'm going to con someone to get that money, if I'm going to work hard to get that money, if you are talking, I cannot think.
So can you coach us on how to get that money? Can you tell us the idea that you used to get the money, or you haven't implemented it yet?
A million and one ideas. This is a topic for another day.
Okay. Wow, I agree.
To touch a little bit on what she has said. Yes, creativity comes freshly, but something can also prompt creativity.
Yeah, that's true.
You get, when brothers here were talking about the cars, the engines, and all such stuff.
The brooms.
The brooms. This person who came up with the engine idea, he thought of it because he knew that if I put this engine on this type of thing that has wheels, that the wheels are already invented by another person, it will work. You see, so the wheels prompted this person to think of how to motorize this. Yeah, so potato.
Yeah, it's true, because actually, even also on the car, there was steam engine, solar engine, petrol. Exactly. Now, it's like Elon Musk is saying he's the one who discovered. No, he just stabilized the modern batteries.
Yeah.
The solar, it was being used from the beginning, from the old times. Yeah. So, see, like that is another person already created the engine, and then they started saying, okay, how will this engine run? By water. Okay, now we need something else. From the water, they came up with the solar, because the sun is low. And then they came and say, okay, how can we create a business from this petrol? And that's how, like you use another person's idea and you come up with another idea on top of another person's idea.
Yeah, it's a repeated process over time and time again. But it comes in a different form. It comes in a different way, different form. It is never the same. However much you are picking it up from something that is already existing, I think it's a very fresh thing. Yeah. Even music is fresh. Every day we get different types of music. Music that I used to listen in 1980 is not the same music that I am listening today.
You are water. So, when you talk of steam engines, some people will get that one wrong, because some people will say Nico steam, so it's not about that steam. Yeah.
It's also an engine.
Wow.
Nasia maji.
Yeah. Steve, Nasia, man. Wow. I love that. Yeah.
See mine.
Him is also a name.
Yeah.
However, in the favor form.
Yeah.
So like also basically what I've understood you're saying is that creativity also you can learn it from someone and then you implement it in a better and convenient way more than the person, like the way all the things I've said. So yeah,
You take an idea from something, from someone, I mean, and then you do it in a different way.
Yeah.
Like a new idea comes in your mind, you make it more better.
yeah.
Wow.
That is customized creativity.
No,
Wow. Customized.
Wow. You see, even the guy with the
She's trying to be creative.
even the guy from steam engine to petrol engine is customized.
No, petrol is something new. The only one is engine, but it was steam. It was not petrol.
But
I'm trying to do petrol better.
No, yeah, exactly. He's trying to do it better.
better.
It's customized.
That's why we have modern civilization.
Exactly.
Still, it's the same civilization.
Like-
Still human being, but it's modern.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
as-
it's a
like a
fashion.
simple example, you see, the first person who decided to create a house, you see, you can't compare the houses that are right now to the 60s houses. They are very, very much different, but the same concept.
Yeah.
Can creativity be learned?
Yeah, it can be learned. Creativity can be learned. If you're in a field that like songwriting. If you're doing songwriting, you'll always learn from. These artists don't write this song every day. They have to get it from someone. Someone has to write it for them. It can be learned. For sure, it can be learned.
Yeah. It's like dancing classes, right? Someone will become creative, come up with some dancing styles, teach someone, and now from learning how to dance, you know, when you are sitting down, the lazy people concept, you'll start thinking on another way of dancing, and in the process, you become from someone who was learning how to dance to are now teaching new styles of dancing. So you can learn creativity.
Wow.
I believe so.
You look at the chefs. Those people make amazing things. How they do this is one of creativity that I admire every day. If you go to a restaurant and you ask for watermelon, what do you expect? A cut watermelon into slices or something, and it's given to you. But in some way, you find just a cute watermelon.
That is expectations versus reality.
No, it is true. You guys have not gone to restaurants that.
No. Stop undermining us.
Kuna chakula na masakura.
I need to undermine us.
You have to learn that. You even if you're a chef, you have to learn that art every day, because you just don't wake up and like, this is what I'm going to do. You have to learn it from someone who has done it before, or you have to watch TikTok videos, YouTube videos for you to learn the art.
Yeah, and when we're talking of creativity, the creativity in engineering, this is the one that has enhanced every technology that we are seeing around. Yeah. Let's not forget about engineering. But I can agree that because I think you love it, innit?
Yes, eating is my passion.
Okay.
Also, engineering is advancing. Different cars, different models. They have different ways of
It's okay, it's okay.
Their engine. There's some engines that are under. Sorry, I'm a girl. I cannot tell the name actually. There's some engines that are under the model. For you to do a repair of an engine, it's very under. But there's some that have come just on top. If there's a problem, it's just easy peasy. So also the one who thought that there's no need of me putting an engine under the car. Let me put it on top where everyone can have a grasp of what they have.
Yeah, true. Okay, so yeah, when you talk of something to do with the engine and everything, there is a there's a certain movie I watched, and it was more of cars. There is a car that was called, I can't remember the name, but I think, yeah, the idea of cars having the windscreen having the, how do you call it, the foil beneath it in case of an accident, the glasses won't come out of the that was an idea that came from that guy. Yeah, and it's being used till today. Yeah.
How can you not know the car? You are a man.
No. It's just a model of the car, and I was watching a movie actually. So
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
yeah. So what about this side?
So for me, what I've gotten from what you're saying is creativity also is not something simple. Like she said for the chef, most of the time there's a lot of competition. So you're supposed to get more knowledge, practice more. So as simple as it may look, creativity is something very hard to achieve because you're supposed to outdo yourself because you're not in the pool alone. You have like majority of people doing the same thing, so you're supposed to do something unique, something that is completely different for you to stand out. So creativity is simple, but in another way is something difficult to maintain.
Yeah, and if you want your idea to explore, you need to have the mindset of not eating an apple alone. You have a watermelon, but you take a piece so that the others can share. If you have an idea and want this idea to be executed, you be the founder of the idea, you need to involve others as well. Yeah, wow.
But creativity can also make someone dream.
You have an example?
Give an example.
The best way I can add on their points is the best way to do it is just take a feedback from other people.
Oh, wow.
Just present the idea to people, take the feedback, and then you'll be able to make it easy on you.
No, but
So
when
you'll not become crazy, as she said.
No, but when you give your idea to someone else, they might steal it.
Yeah.
This is a precious thing to
It
remember.
depends with the, and that's why
If you're not
before you
creative, the
present to
person with the
someone-
idea should be more creative than the person who is coming to know about the idea. Because do you know why the person came to you? I don't know, but based on assumption, it's to steal your idea and to make it more creative. Like let's talk of McDonald's. The person who started McDonald's is not the owner of McDonald's today. True or false?
True.
Yeah, so the idea came from someone, but the person who approached the guy who started the McDonald's became more creative. Yeah, so can we say he learned an idea and he made it more creative, or
He's tall.
That person is not creative.
Yeah, he's tall.
He's told.
no, to be honest, the person who had the McDonald's was running for, let's say, like an year or some several years, right? But he was not being more creative. But the guy who came in, he made McDonald's, he led them into having franchise, right?
So let me give you a scenario.
Mhm.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
If
Microphone.
if you find me washing my clothes with my hands,
Mhm.
then you see my clothes are normal. They're not getting that clean, but they're being clean, okay? But then you go, take your clothes, wash them with your hands, then you step on them, then you put them on the hanger. It
Being
means
creative.
you have enhanced my creativity. Are you getting the point?
But you won't benefit from what I have enhanced.
Exactly. That is stealing.
It's not stealing.
You have stolen my idea and you have enhanced it. I don't know if you're getting the point.
It's true. It's true on a certain percentage.
You have stolen my idea, but then you have put a little bit of oomph to it.
But you know how it becomes his idea,
The enhancing.
because he took your idea, he made it in a much better way,
Exactly.
of which you couldn't, and now it becomes the end product. Now is his idea.
Yeah, not stealing.
It's not stealing anymore.
He made it better than your
made it
idea.
That idea that comes in your mind is very amazing.
Yeah,
But you know, something we should understand is, for us men and women, we have a different way of thinking.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
creativity as well.
It never
Thank
rests.
you.
But
Thank
for
you, sir.
us, we have a quiet box.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we have that space.
Exactly.
We don't want to think.
Man, it gets to a point, man, you are so tired of thinking.
Yeah.
You just want the easiest route out.
I think you guys take the process of creativity on another. Start thinking creativity is a process. For me, I just say it's just an imagination, but all of you said it is a process. It's like a processed thing, and when you put it in a way of a processed thing, that is not creativity.
And when we talk of creativity,
But creativity is a build-up of that imagination.
yeah,
That is not okay.
It is literally processing an idea. When you're building up that imagination, it is processing that imagination.
and
But-
but what?
I can say it is true, it is a process, but the purest form of creativity is something that you think out of an obstacle. That is the purest form. If you start adding up, you'll go Google, search, get information, then come with that. But you see, when maybe the Lord has spoken to you tonight, and you're like,
Amen.
oh my God, I want to write a song about this. You've not researched. It was not a process. It just came in your mind and you wrote it down.
Now, let me tell you something, sister.
So I think I'll beg to differ with you. When it comes to creativity, the chat GPT that we talked about, the AI, do you know if you tell that chat GPT to, if you tell that chat GPT to make a picture of a someone writing with the left hand, you can try it right now, left hand, it will always bring someone writing with the right hand. You know why? Because there are so many people writing with their right hand on the internet compared to the left hand. So AI is still not yet. Someone will come with another level of AI that is more creative, like another idea of creativity that is more better than the AI we are using right now.
True, because
Yeah,
the world is still evolving, so we expect such things to happen in future. We are ready, but personally I do not encourage it. It reduces human thinking, so I do not agree with that.
we have driverless cars. So yeah, that's kind of AI. Or what am I? Or is it? So yeah.
So back to our questions. How does it show up in everyday life? How does creativity show up in everyday life?
When
I know
you-
we have talked of more
When you're stuck, you will be creative.
when you're stuck.
When you're stuck.
Mhm.
Yes, like the guy in Super Metro, the one who jumped. He did not have that bob and he jumped. So he was creative.
You know, like
Who told you? Were you there?
I can say how you can it plays creativity plays like when you're in your life. Let's say now we are working, right?
Yeah.
So there is a way you usually work, and let's say something runs out, as she was saying, something like a chef, right? So maybe it's a pastry chef, and you kind of like uses condensed milk, the one from supermarket, right? So you figure out, you just read the ingredients from the can, and you kind of like make your own. So that is a creation of your own. So you kind of like made your own kind of condensed milk. Yeah. You understand? Or maybe like you run out of cheese. Then you see, okay, so how can I make a cheese in few minutes or in an hour? Instead of the way people, they age the cheese. You just take the milk, put vinegar or lemon juice, leave it, it's separate, squeeze, you have cheese. So you see, that is a way of creativity, how it plays in your work. That's just an example. And from different professionality, different ways of creativity will play their role, to assist where someone is stuck.
Okay.
Creativity, I think, in day-to-day life, we're always creative in whatever that you do. However we think, it is always creative. Just as you said, kitchen is somewhere that you are always productive, just as music, cars. Nowadays, people go to space anytime, any day. How is it called?
SpaceX.
SpaceX. But there's a way, I've forgotten the word. I'll let you know once I remember. People go to space anytime you want, whenever you want. Creativity, for example, I want to give a scenario that usually make me think that every day is a thinking day. So I ordered for a T-bone, and apparently that day in the restaurant there was no T-bone. And what the chef did, the chef took a ribeye sliced the ribeye into two, and then made his own tea so that it can be a tea bone. To date, I will never forget that kind of imagination. It's the purest form, and I also love it. So every day, whatever we are doing, whenever we're interacting with people, I will imagine on how I'm going to lie to you. So as for you to fit in my schedule, for you to, I tell you I'm almost here, but I'm not near. So I think creativity is every day, every moment. It's just that it comes into our mind when you're not aware, and we are not always aware that you are being creative.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you've said, creativity, we see it in marketing, the way people do something that it stands out from the rest through communication. Like she said, you are supposed to meet up with a friend, and then you are like late of something, so you create a form of a lie. So that also is being creative, but in a, let me say, negative way. So it depends on how to use creativity, because some tend to use it on a bad way, and also some tend to use it on a positive way.
Okay, so I'd like us to finalize this because of time. And yeah, follow us on our social media platforms at Desert Vibes Ambassadors, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at Desert Vibes Ambassadors. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.